Welcome to AI TV News. Tonight's explainer looks at Friday's high-stakes meeting in New York between U.S. President Donald Trump and Qatar's Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani. The sit-down follows an unprecedented Israeli airstrike in Doha that has rattled the region and put Washington's diplomacy under intense pressure. First, what happened? On Tuesday, September 9th, Israeli fighter jets struck a residential compound in Doha. Israel said it was targeting senior Hamas officials who were gathered to discuss a U.S.-brokered ceasefire and hostage release deal aimed at ending the nearly two-year Gaza war. 6 people were killed, 5 Hamas members and 1 Qatari security officer. Among the dead were the son and office director of Hamas's chief negotiator. Hamas claims its top leadership survived. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu framed the attack as retaliation for a recent assault in Jerusalem, declaring that the era of immunity for terror leaders is over. It was the first direct Israeli strike on Qatari soil, a dramatic escalation against a member of the Gulf Cooperation Council. The diplomatic backlash was swift. Doha condemned the strike as state terrorism and said Netanyahu had killed any hope for the hostage deal. All 15 members of the UN Security Council, including the United States, denounced the attack and urged de-escalation. The UN Secretary-General, the United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan voiced similar outrage, calling it a blatant violation of Qatari sovereignty. Washington now finds itself walking a tightrope. Israel is a long-time military partner. Qatar hosts Al Udeid Air Base, the largest U.S. facility in the Middle East, and has served as a crucial go-between with Hamas at Washington's request. President Trump publicly said he was not thrilled and very unhappy with the strike, adding that bombing a key U.S. ally does not advance Israel's or America's goals, even though eliminating Hamas leaders was, in his words, a worthy goal. Reports describe a heated phone call in which Trump told Netanyahu the strike was not wise and assured Al Thani it would not happen again. The White House says it tried to warn Qatar, but the alert arrived too late. That brings us to Friday's meeting. For President Trump and Prime Minister Al Thani, the agenda is damage control. They will aim to reaffirm the U.S.-Qatar security partnership, revive the ceasefire and hostage talks derailed by the strike, contain regional fallout so the crisis does not widen into a broader conflict. Qatar is also reassessing everything about its role as mediator. If Doha withdraws from shuttle diplomacy, Washington loses a critical channel to Hamas, and prospects for any negotiated end to the Gaza war dim further. Meanwhile, other Gulf states are questioning America's ability to shield its partners, adding another stress point to an already volatile landscape. Why should viewers care? Hostage lives. Scores of civilians remain captive. Progress on their release now hinges on repairing trust between Israel, Qatar, and the United States. Regional stability. A misstep could ignite a wider war that drags in Gulf states and jeopardizes global energy supplies. U.S. credibility. How Trump balances 2 feuding allies will signal to other partners, especially in the Gulf, how reliable Washington's security assurances really are. Friday's outcome won't resolve every issue, but it will set the tone for what comes next, either a path back to diplomacy or a slide toward deeper confrontation. We'll be watching.